Okay. Has anyone found that the recordings are helpful to go back to? Or is it just like too much right now? We don't go back to them
I
yet.
haven't went
Maybe
back
someday.
yet. I
Okay.
plan to, I just haven't.
Yeah, that's okay.
I went back to one because I wanted to look at some of the notes or
The
your
notes.
your
Oh,
presentation.
sure.
Yeah.
I
Good.
haven't
Okay.
got that.
Okay. So, something I've thought about too is, which I didn't have this, you can see this Fireflies note taker is up here that I started using to help us take notes throughout our conversations on here so that you won't have to look at the whole video maybe when you're trying to find one piece of information. So I use a lot of resources, a lot more now than I ever did, to help things just be a bit easier when it comes to and this is brain stuff, right? Like it can be a little bit overwhelming with all the stuff. So just trying to make it as intuitively friendly, brain friendly when you're working through the program. So if there's anything that you're like, hey, this is kind of like hard to find or whatever, just let me know. Penny did that with a couple of things, which is really nice. So I can make sure to put those resources into the program, and you can find like a protein chart and like things like that, things that we talk about. I want everything to be that it's there for you and you can quickly find it. So the first few I didn't have this note taker, but from here on I will be able to have these notes out and it's lined by time and things like that. So play around with that if you're looking back at the videos or looking for something in particular. Hopefully it'll help you find it quicker than having to watch a whole video again. Okay. Let's get started. So let's just go ahead and find an easy seat. Taking just note of your breath, closing your eyes, just a soft gaze, or just a soft gaze, or just a soft gaze forward if you don't feel like closing your eyes feels safe. We're gonna really bring safety into your body today. Like this is what the goal is for the next few 20-30 minutes here, okay? Eyes gently closed, noticing your breath, just hearing that breath, feeling that breath move in and out of your nose. And honestly, just first thinking of that, just feeling that move through in, the air move in through your nose and out through your nose. Taking note that maybe more air is moving in one nostril or moving out one nostril. It may not be completely balanced here, but we're just taking note of that. We're feeling the cool air move in, the warm air move out. We're seated nice and comfortably here, so we're not necessarily worrying too much about a straight spine. We're just trying to get very cozy in our seats, like we're leaning into the arms or the lap of somebody who's very safe. Someone once explained this as leaning into the arms of Jesus, just like relaxing into somebody who's totally got you. Breathing in and breathing out. Noticing every area of your body now that's touching the surface of something, whether it's your feet, the back of your shin, or your calves, the back of your thighs. Letting every area soften underneath the solid foundation that you're sitting on, that you're laying on. Letting your hips completely relax. Letting your tummy fall down towards your hips, towards your pelvic floor. Imagining your pelvic floor get heavy. up. We're just letting ourselves sink into the surface. Now noticing maybe our back or the back of our arms. Whatever is touching another piece of furniture, whatever it is, just letting it sink. You're sinking deeper and deeper into the surface that's holding you up. Relaxing our chest, our ribs, and our shoulders. Up into our neck, the backs of our heads. Letting everything get very, very soft here. Letting your jaw relax and soften. Letting your eyes relax, your forehead relax, your ears even, letting them soften and be pulled towards the ground, towards the center of the earth, letting gravity take over. We're a small speck on this earth. Coming back to your breath now. Maybe noticing if things are moving softer, if it's easier to breathe, harder to breathe. Whatever it is, there's nothing wrong with any of it. We're just noticing. Take a moment to pause. Wherever you are, whether it's sitting in your car, standing in a conference. Moved into one of my own meditations. I'm sorry. Continuing to breathe. And now with your breath, I want you to focus in on your belly. So we're taking breaths into our tummy. Breathing in and breathing out. Letting our stomach rise and fall with every breath. As you breathe in, your diaphragm drops down into your organs, your digestive tract. And as you exhale, it moves up into your lungs. This natural rhythm that we get to sync up to every day. We move in rhythm. Our body requires rhythm in order to do everything when it comes to digestion, when it comes to hormones, when it comes to neurotransmitters. Everything that's going on within our body requires this cycle and this rhythm. And knowing that we can control that and we can help encourage that rhythm to be smooth, to be gentle, to be soft, and also powerful. As you've been breathing through your tummy, continue that breath, but feel your chest. Just notice what your chest is doing. Your sternum. Noticing it also rise and fall. Maybe feeling if there's a restriction or tightness on one side or the other. Maybe the front of the chest or the back. Sometimes with breath work, you start to feel all the feels and notice that you've got maybe pain or tingling or uncomfortable space in your body. body know we're aware of it, that we hear it, and we're noticing, we're encouraging that safety. It doesn't need to scream any louder than it is because we've already noticed it. Letting it relax, giving it compassion. Now we're going to move down to between your belly button and your pubic bone, that area. Notice what this area is doing as you're seated or laying down. Is it soft? Is it relaxed? Is the rhythm reaching there? Is the effect of your diaphragm moving up and down actually shifting all the way through the body to that lower abdomen area? It's okay if you're not feeling anything there. Just keep your focus on that part of your body. Maybe noticing millimeter by millimeter, it gets grander and grander. That ripple effect is moving through the entire system. Even if you can't feel it, you're encouraging it to get there. Where your focus goes, energy flows. Even if it's only in your mind's eye, it's happening. Continuing to breathe in and breathe out. And as we've encouraged this safety through these organs, through your torso, we're going to start to control that breath a bit more. Breathing in for 4 seconds and out for 6. Let's all together take a deep breath in for 4, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. Exhale. 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 Okay, return to your normal breath. Sitting in this state. You just did a bit of work. Remembering to sink into your surface, sink into those arms. Whatever is holding you, that compassionate, foundational, grounding surface below you. through a body scan here, starting with your toes. Taking note. We're not going to judge anything. This is full of grace, but we're just taking note of where we may be holding some stress, some tension, some heaviness, and we're just taking note of it, okay? So just kind of remembering, but moving on as we move along the body. So starting with your big toes, noticing the feeling that we're having in our big toes. Moving across to the 4 smaller toes. Softening as we move along. Moving into the arches of our feet. Coming across to the edges of our feet, softening our feet as much as possible. Letting everything turn into jelly. Moving into our heels. Softening your heels. Moving through the back of the Achilles tendon and up into the calves. Softening all the way around into the shins. Every one of those muscles, just letting them get softer and softer. Into your kneecaps, all those tendons and ligaments around your knees, imagining softening these areas, noticing if anything feels a bit hard or feels a bit tense. Moving into the quadriceps, so the front of the thighs. Imagining them being very soft, very supple, relaxing. Taking note of anything that feels like it doesn't want to let go, and then moving on to the back of the thighs. Working our way up through those hamstrings to the bottom of our glutes. Imagining every muscle in our glutes to relax, working around the sides of the hips now, softening around those hip capsules, getting very heavy. Your legs are beginning to feel heavier and heavier. But also softer and softer. Now moving around to the front of the hips, softening those areas, that inguinal ligament, and down into the pubic bone. And we're going to work through that tailbone area, the root of our spine, softening the tailbone. Imagining it being set free. Working through the insides of our thighs now. Deep inside our groin. Softening through the insides of our hips. In this area, now we're in the perineum area. Think about this being like this circle. Like if you can trace a circle around either clockwise or counterclockwise, whatever you imagine, and opening up your pelvic floor here. So you're tracing a circle nice and easy, It's not, you're not making it up. You're actually outlining the opening of your pubic area. There's a reason for this. These muscles get very, very tight, affecting how we use our limbs. So we're softening this area and imagining the circle, outlining the opening, and we're letting that continue to get softer and bigger, actually. So we're opening up through this area. And then again, just taking note. How round is your circle right now? No judgment on it. We're just noticing. So whatever direction you are imagining the circle, we're going to start moving up through the torso. Moving up through the spine, the lumbar spine. Imagining the circle being drawn. Small circle, it can be a big circle, whatever it is. We're just thinking about the whole inner organs here. Softening all those organs, the reproductive organs. You've got your kidneys, you've got your adrenals, you've got your ovaries and uterus. Softening those organs, letting them fall towards the ground. We're getting to the outer tissues here where we're looking at your abs, we're looking at your obliques and your belly button. Getting into the skin, softening the skin of the torso. Moving up a little bit further into the small intestine, maybe even bigger to the large intestine. Maybe you're drawing your circle fast, maybe it's slow. Paying attention to every inch of your torso. As we move up, we're moving up into the liver and into the spleen. These immune organs, keeping us healthy every day. Now we've moved into the diaphragm. This rhythm that started off our practice today. Softening that diaphragm, it's a muscle. We can relax it just like anything else. Letting your chest become heavy. Moving into your lungs, through your ribs, up into your heart, into your esophagus, your trachea, all of these organs that are just working for us every day, every second of every day. Softening up further into the upper ribs now, where we're entering into the shoulder girdle, letting the shoulders fall and relax. Noticing as that happens, maybe you've got some pulling or some interesting sensations going on through different parts of your body. We're just recognizing everything as we move up into the collarbones. Left shoulder blade, softening all those muscles, into the right shoulder blade, softening those muscles, moving high up into the traps. Good. Now as we start to let go of that circle, that spinning circle, we imagine our arms getting heavy and we're going to move down into the biceps, into the triceps, front and backs of our arms, letting them relax, letting the burdens fall off of us. We aren't meant to hold them. It's safe to let them go. Moving into our elbows, softening the elbows and the tissues all around the elbows, including the nerves. Into the forearms. And gosh, we use our forearms. Whether it's picking up grandbabies, typing on our computers, brushing our teeth, intricate forearms, softening every muscle, every tendon, every nerve, moving down into the wrists. We have 8 wrist bones in there, a lot of pebbles rolling around, working every day. Whether it's to paint, to draw, to show expression, body language. Thankful for our wrists, moving into our hands, the palms of our hands, our thumbs, softening our index fingers, middle fingers, ring fingers, and pinkies. Letting your entire arm be heavy. Left arm and right arm. We're going to move up into the collarbones again and to the front of the neck. Relaxing these muscles, remember we are falling into the arms of somebody very safe or something very safe. Our neck does not need to work. Our head does not need to be on a swivel. We are safe, relaxed, moving into our throat and into our hyoid bone, softening the front of our neck. Moving into the back of our neck, thinking about every vertebrae, 7 vertebrae in our neck, letting them get soft and relaxed. Maybe noticing if your head wants to fall back, let it. We're mush at this point. Moving up the back of the neck to the base of the skull. There are so many things attached to that base of the skull. So many muscles, so many nerves leave the skull, including the biggest base, spinal cord, softening the base of our skull into the backs of our ears, the back of our head, coming up to the top of our head, letting that fascia, letting those muscles relax, coming into the forehead, the frontalis muscle, relaxing the forehead, letting it get very, very heavy. You may be seeing some flashes of color behind your eyes as we move into the eye area, softening the orbits, softening the circles around our eyes where our eyeballs get to sit, softening our eyeballs, now letting them fall into the back of our head or down wherever gravity is taking you. Moving into the nose. Take a moment to pause wherever you are. Softening the nose, the bridge of the nose, and the nostrils. Now we're moving into the cheekbones and the jaw. And last but not least, we're going to focus on that tongue. Letting our tongue relax, the back of our tongue fall down. The tip of our tongue, we're going to make sure is placed right behind our teeth, just nice and gently. You're not pushing. You're just letting your tongue gently sit behind the first 2 teeth, the front 2 teeth. Taking a deep breath in together. Great, exhaling it all the way out. Coming back to our breath, deep breath in. Exhaling it all the way out. Deep breath in. Great, big exhale. Emptying all the air from your lungs. Every piece of it, all the way out, all the way out. Natural inhale. Another exhale, emptying every air particle out of your lungs. Squeezing your lungs out, squeezing your belly. just to get every ounce of air out of those lungs. One more inhale on a natural breath in. One more exhale. All of the air emitted from the body, letting it naturally rebound back to your natural breath. Take note of how you feel right now. Whether you got lost in your mind a little bit, whether you stayed in your body, there's no right or wrong here. And as we come back to the room, start wiggling your toes, wiggling your fingers. Shaking your arms out, rolling your ankles, whatever feels great. Awesome. Take a minute or two and just come back to the room. How's everyone feeling? Sleepy. Perfect. It's perfect for that time of day. Okay, so I want to talk real quick before we move into cranial work. Where did you guys feel that you may have some maybe tension, tightness as we did the body scan? Did anything come up that you were aware of that felt heavier?
From my knees down.
Knees down. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's normal. I mean, that's not normal, but that's the way it's been. So yeah, I acknowledge that.
Yeah.
I thought I was relaxed, but then when you said to let go, of your, and then I was like, oh my gosh, let go already. Like in my shoulders, like I always am.
Yeah, right. I got to my pelvic floor, for example, and I realized that as soon as I relaxed that, I felt it in my neck. So, it's just interesting that where the, like I could go in and say, hey, like my neck hurts, but really it's coming from somewhere else, right? So I think this is really powerful to do body scans every so often. First off, it just makes you move into a different state. Yeah. What about you, Penny? What'd you find?
Oh, my hips.
Hips. Yes.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. All right. So as we move into cranial work, so craniosacral therapy is actually, it was discovered here, or like the technique was here. And it was an osteopath that started that. Upledger is his name. Not that you need to know that, but the cool thing about craniosacral therapy and how it's all kind of connected in my mind is that the whole purpose is rhythm. It's a rhythm that we have within us that is very important to have flowing all of the time, much like our diaphragm, how our diaphragm can get restricted, and then we have shifts in our, our function of our digestion, our heart rate, like all these things. The same thing will happen, if we don't have this good rhythm of between our ears. And the cerebrospinal fluid, have you guys heard of that term before? Cerebrospinal fluid?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a fluid that circulates through our system all of the time. And our central nervous system is what's developed in utero, like first. It's very intricate and it takes a long time to make. But it's pretty much like, how we have our digestive tract, mouth to anus, right? This open hole, right? This is one that is closed within us, but it's also like has that kind of tube-like structure. And the flow is through the cranium, down through the back of our neck, down to our tailbone, like through our spinal cord, not all the way to our tailbone, but to the base, like where that hole ends around the spinal cord, and then back up. So it's going shoo, 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 shoo. Okay, about like that kind of rhythm. So when I'm working on people, I'm feeling for that and helping move that rhythm and keep that rhythm going. What do you think causes the rhythm to come up, be out of balance?
Stress.
Tension, probably. Tension.
I'm sorry, what'd you say, Susan?
Tension.
Tension, yes, right? So it can be anywhere. The tension can be anywhere that affects that. So of course it's very durable because we need it. It's our nervous system, right? So God made that very durable. It can handle a lot. However, it will make do. So there's two ways to make this move. One is that there's a natural rhythm always happening. Once we have too much tension on it, then our sacrum, when we walk, it's our pump. So a lot of people who have a hard time waking up in the morning or anything like that, that rhythm isn't happening at night. So it takes us moving around before that rhythm starts happening. And the cerebrospinal fluid is full of nutrients to our brain, and it's also our lymphatic system. So it serves as two different pieces there. Our bodies have a lymph system, which is all waste, right? And our nervous system has the same thing, but it also has like this nutrients that comes through it. Lymph isn't full of nutrients per se, right? Lymph is full of waste. However, our CSF, our cerebrospinal fluid, has both. So it's really important that we are that the system is happening so that we can detox our brain at night when we sleep. This is a huge piece of this, is this does not always happen. So we're going to go through and just do the physical piece. The tissues that I'm working on, it's much like chiropractic. I'm working on the tissues to release the nerve, right? Here I'm working on the tissues to release the cerebrospinal fluid. It's all surrounded. Your brain is completely surrounded with fascia. Your spinal cord is completely surrounded with fascia. So we're opening up the fascia in our body. So we're going to start by, you'll want to be seated. And I'm sorry, Erica, I don't know how well this is going to work. You're going to need to find something to put your elbows on. So if you can't be right in front of the camera, totally cool.
Okay.
So if you can find something. So the reason that you want your elbows on like a table or a desk or something is because you don't want any pressure on them. You don't want to be pulling too hard. It's just a nice consistent pressure. So the first thing I'm trying to grab is the front of my skull here. So we're on the frontal bone. If you imagine, let's say in the center of your brain, like way down in the center of my brain here, if there was a bomb to go off in it, how would the bones move? It's going to move forward here. It's going to move up here. It's going to move out here and down, right? So that's how, if you think about it, if you think about those movements, that's how every bone in your brain or in your head should move. So you can't mess this up as long as you keep in mind my frontal bone, everything here is going to move forward, everything up here is going to move up, everything back here is going to move backwards, and everything here is going to move down. Okay? So I'm grabbing just barely. I should not have this happening. Okay, this means you're pushing too hard. So you let your fingers just melt into the skin, just past the skin a bit, and then you're barely pulling. So almost like you've got a dime on your table, you're going to push that dime across the table. That's how much pressure you use. It's very, very little.
Okay.
Very little. And then we're just going to kind of settle into that. So you just breathe and relax. The fascia will not move well when we're stressed out. It's hard to make it move. You can coax it too, but you want to really just focus in on your body, just like what we did for the past 30 minutes. Just kind of settle in and just let things relax. You can't mess it up. That's what's great, is you really can't. On a baby, you could. And you'll notice that in the beginning, it's probably a little bit difficult because we don't have the tactile sensation yet. But if you do this regularly, you will notice that you'll feel the tissues change. So you're gonna push here here's the deal. You guys will just do this for 2 minutes. 2 minutes on each bone. And some people, when they're muscle tension, headache, they're gonna push really hard and they're just like, oh, right? We're gonna go really gently. And just let that bone, just imagine it moving forward away from the brain. If your fingers just slide right off your forehead, then that's okay. You can move on to the next one. Otherwise, I would hold for a couple minutes. Just let it relax. Some people will rest their chin if they're having trouble holding their head up because they're not relaxing. They'll rest their chin in their thumbs. Okay, the next one, we'll just move on to the next. The next is the parietal bone. So we've got 2 bones right here. So we're going to use our arms. I can't have my elbows down for this one. You're going to push on your head just a little bit, just like you did with your fingers. And if you're like, I'm pushing too hard with my hands, you come back to your fingers, okay? But if you can just do a little bit of pressure here, and you're lifting it up towards the heavens, okay? So you're just lifting those bones up, away from the spine, away from the brain. Nice and gentle. And maybe maybe you already do, as you get better and better at this, you'll feel that cerebrospinal fluid moving in and out. And maybe you'll notice it moving better on one side than the other. That's typically what I feel for people, is that one side of the brain is filling and detoxifying and the other is not. Just depends.
Okay, Caleb. Message you.
She texted me and said everything's okay.
Okay, then we're going to move into the nose. So you're going to put your fingers like this, holding the top, and then you're going to pull this down. Your fingers may slide right off your nose, then you're probably good. And again, remember, you're just pulling a dime across your skin or across the table, so it's not a lot. And you'll feel that start to open up, especially in between the eyes there. And a lot of times it's just right at the base of the nose, or the tip of the nose, actually, sorry, the tip, where it gets a little bit tighter, and then your fascia is in layers, so just don't judge where the tension is at or where you're even feeling it, because you just never know. hold each one of these for 2 minutes or until your fingers slide off. Good. Okay, the next one, this one's your sphenoid. So it's a bone that's behind the eyes and it goes down into the cheeks. It looks like a butterfly. So you're going to use your fingertip, find the crease of your eye, and you're going to gently pull your skin and fascia back towards your ears first. This is the one that isn't quite right, but we'll correct it. This joint can move in a lot of ways, and that's why. So we're going to let our fingers pull back. And again, you're not forcing it. So once the fingers stop moving backwards, you just hold. That's it. You don't do anything more. That's plenty. Continuing to soften your face. This is gentle, slow work here. Okay, now that we are back to about our temple, then you're going to pull it forward. I use my middle fingers because, on myself especially, not on you guys as much, well, sometimes, it's a softer finger. I'm not going to push as hard. And then I'm pulling the sphenoid towards my eyes, like just straight out. Again, it's really gentle. Your fingers are just like melted into the skin, not too much further than that. Great. That all looks really good, you guys. Susan, even lighten up a little bit more.
I catch myself.
Right? I know it's hard.
Oh, now
It's
I'm
hard.
squeezing. So I go, oh, okay. Yeah. I think I did that 3 times in this, like, okay, I'm not squeezing my brain out.
That's great. Okay, now we're going to move on to the temporal. So the temporal is this bone right here. How many of us have tension through their necks right here? It's the SCMs, okay, that attaches to the temporal bone here. So I'm using my I'm using my index finger, and I'm just inside the ear. So that little bump there, I'm inside it. Okay. And I'm pulling my ears out first, so straight out, and then back. So back towards the back of your shoulders, okay, towards your shoulder blades. And again, elbows down for this one because, so I have my finger in there, and then I grab a hold with my thumb on the back end of it just to have a nice grip. And I'm pulling back and out. A lot of times, too, if I'm just trying to figure it out, I grab my earlobes and do that if that's more comfortable. Out towards away from my head and then back. And what I like about the earlobes, because you don't have a tight grip on them, it's a light grip, but just like everywhere else, you will your fingers will just slide off the earlobes once it's released. A lot of times by here, it's like, yeah, my shoulders are, holding my hands up is not easy. That's why you want a table or something. Man, whether it's sitting in your car. You can tell I'm listening to the same music over and over, but I can't seem to put it on repeat. Away in a quiet corner. Okay. So that is most of it. The last part is, of course, the back of the head, which, we need to do the occiput here. This part is very difficult. Being able to grab that and pull that a direction doesn't really work that great. So fascia, you can either compress it and it releases like this. It kind of like shakes up and releases like that. Or you can stretch it, which is what we've been doing a lot of. We're stretching. You guys, we're stretching fascia within our brain. So it's not just around our face. We're trying to stretch the fascia in the brain. And we'll go over this next week, but it's very it divides it in half here, some really thick fascia there and some thick fascia between the ears. We're using our bones to do that. So the base of the skull is a little bit different. So I'm going to compress it. So I'm going to compress the top of my head just barely into, think about it, setting it back on the spine. So I just put the weight of my hands here. And here's the deal. You can just stay here. This is fine. But you'll notice most of the time your head is going to want to start to move. So if you get out of your head completely, don't care where your body wants to go, you will start to move. And you just follow it. So you just keep your hands there, just knowing that you're putting compression on the neck and the spine. And you can't mess this up either. You just follow it along. Or you just stay right where you're at and put pressure down into the occiput, just straight. And you just continue to breathe through every one of these. It keeps you out of your head and away from your educated brain of where you feel like things should go. And instead just let your body take care of it. And let your body start to unwind however it wants to. Awesome. Okay, we just have a couple of minutes left, so I want to make sure that we touch base real quick with everybody and see how everyone's doing, see where we're at. Susan, you want to go first and maybe let us hear how the first few weeks have gone and what you're looking forward to moving through the next 4, maybe a new focus?
I feel tension leaving.
Yeah? Okay.
Yep, I do feel it leaving. Tuesday, I think, was for I don't know what reason, but they were just tight. My feet were just like
Really?
So finally, I just went and got some herbal foot soak and soaked them for 20 minutes, and that did it. But I also, when I did it, I had my music going and I did my breath work.
Yeah. Oh.
I mean, I noticed within 45 minutes, it's like, I never used to see those changes like that immediately. And that's what we want,
That's what we want.
I want to feel them and see them and hear them. And so that was good to see that change, that work. Yep.
Good.
Yep.
Good.
The balancing brain breath work was very easy for me to do every day.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
that was easy for me to do. So
I love it. It's funny how we get attached to something that once we figure out what works, it's like, okay, I can commit to, right? But we kind of need that bit of, we need to feel it first probably before it's fully committed to it, right? Yeah. Good. I love that. You can always bounce back to
I have
that.
a question. I know you said earlier something about when you were breathing in different nostrils. that things weren't balanced, because I was having trouble with one nostril being closed more. Then it's like, okay, how do I do this? But that's part of it. I mean, one nostril will be closed off more.
It can be if you're out of balance. Which one was more closed? You remember?
My left one.
Your left one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And now they're fine. I mean, you know, both of them are pretty equal right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is a left or right hemisphere dominance is what happens when we start to have one nostril or the other. And we don't want that dominance. I mean, if you listen to anyone who talks about like, I'm more of a left brain person, or I'm more of a right brain person. Left brain is typically more analytical. Right brain is more emotional. There is a place where we are just, it's who we are, that we may have characteristics of one, and that's great. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but when you're out of balance, you'll have these physiological things that are showing up in your body. So, you know, when you're breathing in, it's crosses. Yeah, your face will cross. So if you're breathing more right, or you're not getting anything out of the right, we're usually left brain dominant. And then when we breathe, it balances your brain.
Okay.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that awareness. Okay. What do you want to learn? What do you want to make sure you learn or experience before 10 weeks, before we're done here?
I just want to keep learning.
Keep going. I love it. Okay.
Keep going.
Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, Erica, what do you got?
I've definitely enjoyed having my music playing. I feel silly saying that, but it just is a highlight to my day when I have some calming music and need to take a breath and know how to breathe, like silly, simple things. But I didn't know that would make it, you know, you read that, like have your calming music or take your deep breath in and out. But to actually learn how to do it has been very beneficial. And what do I want? I'm kind of like Susan. I don't want it to end. I just want to keep learning. It's everything is so interesting, how it's all connected. And I'm just really enjoying this.
I'm excited to see how your leadership stuff will change, and mostly not even just leadership in general. We know you've got that, but the confidence behind it.
Yeah,
and being able to know your limits.
Answer. Yeah, that's a great answer.
I'm excited for that, and I hope you feel really aligned with that by the time we're done. That you.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Know what you need.
Yep.
Awesome. All right, Penny, what do you got?
Well, I had a beginning very emotional week. Got rid of some stuff. I don't know, just aware and dealt with some things, and it's improved my whole outlook on just simple things like my relationship with food, which has been my whole life just a mess.
Yeah.
And just kind of being able to be in the moment more.
Yeah. I love it. Good. What do you want to see by the end? What do you want to feel super confident about before the 10 weeks are done?
This will just keep getting better and better.
Yeah. I think it's going to be really important for all three of you that we know your toolbox. We know what's in your toolbox, not mine, yours. When you leave, that you know what you have access to shift your state right away. I'm just going to share one little thing here. Before we go, I did a scan. So everyone's got scans now. Erica, we're going to go over yours next week.
Yep.
Okay. I don't know. I'm going to go through this really in depth with you guys or not in depth, but like, I want you to see what it's like, because I've been doing this for 4 years now. So I have a lot of scans, and I want you to see how things have progressed. And I will tell you, I did a scan today, and I am in an expansion of my life right now where there's a lot of things that are changing and my brain does not feel right, right? Like I feel very uncomfortable right now. And there's a lot of reasons why there's, like we get all that. But this is the deal. Like my brain did shift in a poor way. It does not look good right now, but my physiology is on point. Okay. So even though like I'm not happy about it. I would love to show you guys my perfect scan. Like, hello, like I teach this, okay? I would love to show that to you. But what I can show you is like, this is what I'm feeling in the moment right now. This is what I know I wasn't doing. And this is what I know I could be doing to improve it. But know that when you're growing and shifting and changing, it's not going to necessarily stay the same. And when you don't support your nervous system through a big change, that's when we get out of alignment. I could still be in alignment and going through change, but I'm not right at the moment. It's actually not great. But my physiology, I can use my body to shift my brain real fast. And I know I can change this really quickly. It hasn't been there for more than 6 months, probably, maybe a year. But it would surprise me. I did a scan right before I went on my trip, and then I just did one for the first time since I've been home. So it's just something to like, I don't know, my brain loves data. I love to see that there's like proof in the pudding of how I'm feeling right now and that there's something that I can do about it. And I think you wouldn't need the scan to know it. I wouldn't need the scan to know it, but I have that and I have something to go with to move forward and just like, just a measurement. And that's your score that we're going to be doing that you'll be able to see throughout the time period here. That'll be something that you guys can always go back to and see where you're at too. But know that your nervous system, like my body has handled everything that's going on. My brain is not on track. And what do you think that means? Like in my brain, I think I know the answer, but what do you think that means? If my body is handling the stress great, but my brain is not, what do you think is next for me? And this is what I get really excited about. This is a breakthrough. This will be a breakthrough where my neural patterns are going to be different once I balance this out. This will be a new pathway for me, right? And so just realize that once I have got this tool, this body that I can keep maintaining to break these old patterns in my brain to be different, to feel different in my everyday. That's what's really cool. It's really cool.
That
So
is
it was
cool.
a tough day, but a kick in the shorts kind of day.
I feel ya.
Yes, right? You did the same thing. You asked for help today, and you had a completely different afternoon.
I did.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and I love
poor
how you
place
guys are
when I saw
supporting
ya.
each other. Like,
Yeah.
keep doing that. It's not easy work. It's not easy work, and we're gonna be the weird ones in Buffalo, South Dakota, So, we're just the start to the healthy community.
Oh, it
Okay.
started my day off right when I left this morning at 7. There's a set of swans on a dam over at Penny. It's right west of that. It's on
Guess
the west.
what? I had a set of swans when I got home tonight.
No way.
Yes.
Oh, they're so beautiful.
White swans on the dam when I got home tonight.
Maybe it's the same ones.
Maybe.
I mean, it could be.
I don't
That's
see swans
crazy.
around here that often.
No, they're huge.
They're beautiful.
Really? I don't know if I've ever seen a bunch of swans
and they were
in my life.
sitting, it was just 2 of them, and they were sitting just chest to chest, and
No way.
the love. I mean, away I said, "Oh my gosh, look at the love between those two."
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
I
of course,
pulled
I was
over.
in a hurry. I would have taken a picture.
I tried, but it didn't do it justice. I just sat and watched them. It was neat. Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, wonderful.
Yep.
All right, ladies, you guys are doing great. And we
Oh, we lost you.
Yeah. Night, girls.
Night.
Good night. Thank you.